Welcome back, Red Wing fans. These have got to be the coolest boots that I have, and I say that about all of them, of course. You know I like a lot of boots here, but man, let me tell you a few things about this. So, this is the Red Wing times JCrew. It's the 4597. It is a 6-inch round toe, as you can tell, and it is the Yuma copper leather. So, not many of those things really matter too much about these boots, other than the last thing is they're on the Munson Last. And if you don't know anything about the Munson Last, you should read about this guy, Dr. Edward Munson. Go look him up, read about it. This guy, in the 1910, 1912, something like that, he studied thousands of military persons' boots, military guys. He studied their feet, and he came up with what he thought was the best last, the best shape for a shoe. And he was saying that at the time, fashion dictated what shoes looked like, and they were symmetrical, they were pointy. You know, so if you notice, these things look slightly asymmetrical, meaning they're really curved on the outside, and then they're kind of like not as curved on the inside, so they're kind of, you know, again, they're asymmetrical. And if you look at the sole, you can tell it's more curved than the normal Red Wing sole. And these are the Chemi Gums, and that part is kind of cool. But if you can compare, I don't have another pair to compare them to, but if you can just, if you just try these on. And so for me, I don't know if it's just because I have an E width of a foot, or is it because this guy really figured out the most comfortable shape for a shoe. And I think it's the latter. I think this guy figured it out, that they don't not need to be pointy, they don't need to be symmetrical. And asymmetrical, I mean, these are super comfortable as far as the width of the toe. And so I really like them for that reason. Now, the Copper Yuma, okay, that's, I guess, color, and then, of course, the leather. It's almost like the Copper Rough and Tough, in my opinion. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's a little drier, I guess, maybe not quite as oily. But man, these are just super comfortable. And so get this. Now, granted, I'm wearing a 9.5. I normally wear a 9, and my the Brannick device tells me 8.5 E, but these are 9.5 Ds, and they are just like, oh man, my feet just feel so good. They're not cramped at all. They're totally, there's enough room to move, but they're not floppy. They're not, they're not all sloppy. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So this is basically like the Rover boot shape, but the sole definitely is not the Rover's sole, and it's also not the last. I guess the last is the most important part. Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed that fashion dictated that they stopped using this style. And this guy figured it out in the early 1900s. He figured out that this is the best shape, in my opinion. And I mean, I can just tell. I mean, you have to try them. Yeah, that's the only way I can tell. I mean, you could, really agree or disagree, is that they just feel like, man, this is just the right shape. And I go back to even, well, I don't know if you were around in the 70s and the 80s, but they had the thing called an earth shoe. Go ahead and look that up. I think it's like, I forgot the name of the person who invented them, but if you look up earth shoe from the 80s and the 70s, they were squared off and they were slanted and they looked goofy as all heck, even worse than a Birkenstock. And they were, I remember them feeling pretty good, but they looked kind of goofy, and like they were not your traditional pointy, rounded, symmetrical shoes and boots. And so, I don't know. Anyway, I can't tell you, I would have to say these have got to be keepers just because of how they feel. And I really should be just wearing these every day. There's just no hot spots, no pressure in the wrong places. Yeah, I'm totally amazed. But again, I don't know if you can tell just by my video or not. They are asymmetrical. They're not, Yeah, and if you compare these to another pair of just regular Red Wing Rovers or any kind of round toe, yeah, I wish I had. I don't have any right here with me, so I can't really put it up next to it. But anyway, maybe I'll do another video where I show just the soles side by side. But anyway, yeah, the only way you could even benefit from what I've been telling you is to get a pair. But they're so rare, especially in Red Wing. There's only like the Nigel Coburn, or Coburn, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Coburn, Nigel Coburn, I think it's pronounced. He produced a couple different series, and they're super expensive. I mean, they're the one with the tweed lining. Oh, man, they're just super expensive. But that's the only ones I've ever seen using the Munson Last. But it's amazing that this guy did boots for the military, and he was just, yeah, he was a genius. I cannot believe that I can believe that fashion has basically said, forget it, we don't like how that looks. It looks too, I don't know, I guess the asymmetrics, and you know, they look goofy, maybe they're, yeah. Just, I don't know why the reason, I really don't. They are just, yeah. So, enough ranting. This is by far my longest video because I am a true believer of the Munson Last. I want to get his book from 1912 too, but they're like $20 and I don't want to pay $20 for it. So anyway, cool. Hope you enjoyed this and hope you learned something.